Hello, I'm going to talk a little bit about firewood and the cutting of firewood. Um, Not on how you should do it. I mean, there's a multitude of various opinions on that. But basically, should we say, the mindset and philosophy and how it makes you actually feel. There's something very earthy, raw, and organic about it, which is soothing and, shall I say, wholesome. It actually makes you feel good while you're doing it, and it has that quality which you can feel you're doing something that somebody would recognize from hundreds, if not thousands, of years before yourself. So it has that feel that can transport you through time as an activity which you feel that you are connected and indeed connected with the environment and, shall we say, the wider world around you. And that leads me to the point where you have to touch on the fact that it's a physical activity, and many people have said of that as they've got older and unable to harvest, cut, split wood, and produce their own wood, that they feel a sense of loss in not being able to do it. And you can fully understand that, because ultimately it's one of those things you do or can do which makes you feel that you are providing for yourself, and indeed, shall we say, providing heat, the ability to heat water, cook food, provide warmth, security, and indeed it's just that feel good factor when you're sat around a fire. And since we've had our wood burner installed in our house, we've basically find ourselves sitting out in that room rather than going into the front room, which is great for the kids because they get the TV to themselves. But me and the wife have found we're drawn to the fire and just sitting there and spending long evenings just chatting, which is great because it allows you that time to reconnect and have like form a different type of relationship where you're not sat in a centrally heated room and you're staring at a TV screen. You are actually drawn to sitting around the fire and engaging in conversation, which possibly didn't happen, if I'm honest. So I'm just going to allow you to see just a very small bit of firewood cutting and splitting. It's nothing that you won't have seen or nothing that you won't have done yourselves. It's just that little bit of a soothing, something you do in the winter time, which you then take into your home, however and whatever that is, to provide yourself that heat and the mechanisms I've just discussed for cooking, providing water, and just providing that little bit of light even in the ambient light in the room. So yeah, I'll just cut some wood, you can come along and see it, and hopefully you can get the measure of what it feels like to do it, and you can well, basically see how soothing it is and relaxing, even though it can be hard work. I have a, shall we say, wood stand, or a wood horse as my grandfather would have called it. I've made myself, but it's used for a multitude of other tasks as well. So that's why it doesn't have the cross configuration. This has got to do several different jobs, and it does it, so it works for me. I'm just going to pick out a piece of dry wood. Nothing too extreme. You can see it's fit, well, it actually fits in there quite nice. I've still got the moss from when it was harvested. That's dry. But I'm just going to use a very simple hand saw. No chainsaw noise, no oil, no two-stroke. Just a bit of hard work and the satisfaction of hearing a wood go through, the saw go through some wood. And you can't tell me that that noise is just not so soothing and pleasing. You're watching it go through the wood, you can hear it. your heart rate starts to go up, you start to breathe a bit more, so you're obviously doing yourself some physical good. And you can actually hear it going into that wood and going down through. And you'll probably get to hear that actually on the actual video. You can hear it get faster and faster. And it's about to drop off. That is just so satisfying, just listening to that. And I'm sure people who do their own wood would fully agree. Anybody that doesn't have to process or do any wood, I challenge you not to feel, just listening to that and seeing that piece of wood drop off, that it doesn't feel satisfying. Just listen to that go through. The smell of wood, the sawdust. And when it comes off, it is just really, like, really earthy. It feels honest. It feels the effort you've put in is worthwhile. It just feels good all round. I mean, I can feel the exertion I'm putting into it, but I can also feel the satisfaction just in those two logs there, because I know that's providing heat, warmth and everything we've just talked about. There is something a little bit more satisfying not using a chainsaw. Obviously, it's not practical a handsaw in every occasion, but a lot of people are turning away from chainsaws and looking at the methods our grandparents and possibly further back would have employed. And there's nothing wrong in that. That is really pulling the sawdust out, and I'm just loving that smell and the sound. Right, I'll make one more cut here. I'll get this up. Just wedge it in. And then we'll split these small logs. There. I just want you to see and hear this in real time. Like I said, just hear that, it is beautiful. That is the sound of winter in itself, actually. Hear it going through the last bits. There it goes. Finished. This bit here is done now. These are the 5 small pieces from that log. Here's the splitting log in place, and we're now going to split these. Here we go. Let's split this small bit here. I get the splitting axe. This won't require a big hit, but here it goes. Yet again, really satisfying. It just feels so good and wholesome. Second bit. So there you go, I've chopped those and they're going to go on the pile. That there in itself would be enough with our wood burner because it's quite efficient to last a whole night. Although I'm going to cut a little bit of kindling now and just show you that. It's a kindling bucket and I'm just going to show you cutting, should we say, some slivers of the actual logs which will produce some kindling. You're probably observant and see that this isn't actually from logs, this is actually skirting board from a building project. That's untreated wood, so I can use it. I'll split some of that into kindling and I'll just show you how I do it. So here we go, and we're going to turn this into some kindling. Yeah, so I've got this piece here. I'll put it on the actual stump I'm going to cut. I've got myself my safety piece of wood. I don't want to lose any fingers. I think I've talked about my grandmother with what happened to her hand. I don't fancy that happening to me. Hopefully this won't hit the camera, but here goes. There, that's working quite nicely. It's coming off in nice slivers. Whoop. And I'll show you the result of what's happened there. Now I have several pieces here which has come off and I can use that as kindling. This is slightly bigger stuff, which is the next stage up from the initial fire starting kindling. But yeah, I've just produced that and that's going to go into the bucket. I'm sure I lost another piece over there, but yes I did. Let's not waste it. There we go. So here's the other one. This one's a bit thinner, so get it resting securely. There. Now just finish this piece off. I can see I can get another piece out of here. There. All the slivers will be used. I mean, when you've got firewood you don't waste a thing. So all that's been done there. So I'm now going to show you what it's going to be like to do some of the processed building wood for like skirting boards. Yeah, this is it, just cut up. It's just standard skirting board. It's not treated, so it can go through a wood burner and it's excellent as kindling. So yeah, this should cut up very nicely. Yet again, my safety piece of wood. This is just coming apart, well, just too easy really. So basically, just cutting this down. And that does feel nice. Yeah, very satisfying. Yeah. And it'll probably take about 6 to 8 pieces to get a fire lit and going without any difficulty. Nothing more than that. Slightly bigger piece. Oh, piece there come down. See if I can get this one last piece on or not. Nope. But there you go, that's the kindling chopped. Yeah, that resulted in a bucket full of kindling, which would do the whole week if I had to have a fire every week. We're in the UK, so it's not every night you will put a fire on, but yeah, that would technically last me a week. I'm now going to take a few more logs here and get a few more pieces done up for, shall we say, the holiday season, so I don't have to be out here. But yeah, this is just a pleasure of a job to do. As I cut, I only really cut what I need to use within the next 2, 3 or 4 days. I'll just build a little pile up inside here and come and take it as I need it. Yeah, so that was just a very simple video on just showing you a little bit of firewood cutting. I hope it was kind of soothing and shall we say relaxing, and you can see how if you don't cut firewood, and it is quite normal these days for people not to cut firewood or have never cut firewood, just to see even just a small little bit there that it can be soothing, relaxing, and that little bit of effort and work you put into it is very rewarding when you then go to use it. But yeah, I'm going to sign out here. It's Andy, and I'll catch you again.